Hi guys, I hope you're well. Nick here at Masar Capital. So what I'm going to do today is give you guys a recap of the quarter and the month of September in the Dubai property market. So what we'll run through is the sales volumes, number of transactions, popular areas, and just give you an understanding of what's happening here at the moment. Obviously, when we're making investment decisions, we want to base it on data, evidence, things like this. So hopefully this is going to be really insightful, and the Dubai land apartment data that I'm going to present will enable you to make informed decisions, obviously based on what's happening in the market at the moment and where to deploy your capital. So I'll go over to the screen recording now and speak to you soon. Okay guys, so as I mentioned, I'm going to speak through Dubai land apartment data provided by DXB Interact regarding the Dubai real estate market in the third quarter of this year. So for those of you that don't know, DXB Interact summarizes Dubai land apartment data. One benefit about the Dubai market is that it's incredibly transparent. So all the data almost in real time now, we can get access to and use it to make our investment decisions. So this website presents that data in a very easily digestible way, which I want to relay to you guys and just give you a recap, demonstrate some of the things that we look at when we're deciding which projects to market, and obviously provide the resource for you guys to do the same. So I'll try not to make this too long, but I will scroll through, the key statistics of the locations, property type, value growth, volumes of sales, values of sales, etc., etc. So let's kick things off then. So firstly, as I stressed, this is for the third quarter of 2022. So this was in fact the busiest quarter on record for the Dubai real estate market. Total property transactions were 25,503, which is up 13.6% from the last quarter and up almost 60% versus quarter 3 2021. So when we break that down in terms of the asset class or the type of property, should I say, that's been sold, 17,947 of those were apartments, 5,675 were villas, 851 commercial units, and then 1,030 sites or plots which were purchased. Now, in terms of apartments, we're seeing huge demand from that. If you look at the spike, that's up almost 20% quarter on quarter. 5.8% in terms of quarter on quarter rise for villa purchases, 20% going into commercial, which is a good sign because a lot of people are believing in business and commercial activity in the city, and then sites are down 20%. So maybe that indicates that some developers already have a big land bank and they're not deploying as much capital as they need right now in terms of actually purchasing sites. Okay, so in terms of values, 33.3 billion on the apartment side, 19.1 billion on villas, 1.3 billion on commercial, and 15.8 billion on the sites. Total value, 69.5 billion. So that's almost 70 billion dirhams worth of property and sites which were sold in quarter 3 2022. So in terms of the price changes, this is obviously a key piece of data which everyone wants to see. And what I'll do here is just relay, ultimately how this may affect you. So off-plan apartments up nearly 15% year on year. And since 2014, up nearly 60%. So this shows you that, buying a new build and off-plan apartment in Dubai, which is what we predominantly focus on, can generate you, significant returns during the long term. And even in the short term, we're seeing developers upping their prices due to demand in the market. So that's very interesting indeed. Property change per square foot. So again, up 25% since 2014 and up 6.6% in terms of the off-plan apartments in the city. If we compare that to villas, obviously in recent years, we've seen a big drive for space. And with the amount of wealth coming into Dubai, a lot of that high-end, premium luxury segment of the market is seeing big demand. As a result, we've seen nearly a 25% rise in terms of the price per square foot change versus this time last year, and a 55% rise versus 2014. So notice how these are all green, which indicates the overall performance of the Dubai property market, both on a year-by-year basis and since 2014. Okay, so this is a big one and one I really want to stress because we are, constantly looking at the best performing locations. It's one of the top asked questions that we'll get. What locations are best to focus on? Where should I deploy my money? What areas are growing best? Where's the best rental demand, etc., etc. Now, there's various analytics we can look at to make these decisions, but one of the good things to look at is where's the demand, right? Because if you see a big section of the market deploying capital in a particular area, obviously the investment case is going to be strong because repeat investors, from fund level and experienced high net worth individuals with major portfolios down to, Mr. Buy to Let buying their first one or two properties. If there's a big, section of that market that are buying in a particular location, obviously that's positive and a good sign for others to follow suit. Business Bay is the leader. So for those that you don't know, this is effectively a commercial district surrounding downtown Dubai, but we have seen a huge amount of residential development in this location in recent years, which has caused big demand and big price rises. So this indicates that. So 3,153 transactions, which is a huge amount. If you compare that to Dubai Marina, which is one of the most, if not the most mature market in the city, that saw 1,802 transactions take place. Now, part of this, I believe, is due to supply coming to the market. So you've got developers like Damac, Select, Danube, DR, Dalal Arkin, all building in Business Bay. There's been Omniat as well, SLS, and as I say, Damac are very, very dominant. So all these now mid to high end developments are coming to the area, which has caused a big demand and spike in transactions, which is great to see. I believe it to be one of the best investment locations in the city at this point in time. Reason being is it's not quite as developed as your downtowns, your marinas, but it still has close proximity to all the facilities, 3, 4, 5 minutes drive from the epicenter of Dubai downtown. So that's Business Bay. Obviously, you've got Dubai Marina, which is already matured, already very well developed. Very few new builds coming to the market, if any. LIV launched a project there recently. You've got the Cavalli Tower from Damac, and then obviously going out to Emod Beachfront, which is really more Dubai Harbour towards the Palm side. But in Marina itself, there's not much activity taking place. We'll add one last one there as well. Emar building out Emar Marina Shores as well. So very, very few buildings in comparison to Business Bay coming to the market. Damac Lagoons, for those that don't know, is a huge master community with stunning 4, 5, 6 bedroom villas and custom mansions, townhouses surrounded by, water features and lots happening there as well, which is on the outskirts of Dubai. But that will be, a great buy, a great investment location. As you can see, this master project alone is almost keeping up. Well, it's surpassed downtown Dubai in terms of the level of transactions. So again, that's an indicator of this must be a good buy. It must be a good investment because there's so much demand, outstripping areas like JVC and downtown Dubai. Just moving on quickly, JVC. That is a great alternative for those that want something towards the marina side of town, but don't want to pay the premiums of Dubai Marina. So JVC, very low entry level in terms of pricing. Developers there tend to be a bit more flexible on their payment plans. And you still get good rental demand, both in the long-term market, although values are obviously lower than other areas of Dubai. But I would be looking at short-term lets there because of its close proximity to Dubai Marina. And then just lastly, downtown Dubai, which saw 1,340 transactions. Again, there's not a huge amount of supply coming here. Emaar have launched several buildings who obviously dominate downtown. But again, this is effectively the equivalent to buying in Zone 1 in London. Very mature, huge demand. If you buy here now, especially off plan, you're going to be getting one of the newer buildings forever because there's simply very, very few sites to build out and develop, and it's extremely strictly controlled and dominated by Emaar. So that's downtown Dubai. So if you're ultra low risk and your risk appetite isn't particularly high, you just want very safe, you're happy to take a lower rental yield, then stick to downtown Dubai. So hopefully that's a quick, useful overview of some of the top performing areas of the third quarter of 2022. So this next section indicates price change in the third quarter over the years. So we don't really need to go into too much detail of that. Property sales by price change in the third quarter. So this is basically indicating the price change of the sales in the different segments of the market. So as you can see, below 1 million, volume of transactions, 8,319, 33% of the market. And then 1 to 2 million, 8,703, 34% change, etc., etc. This just shows the volume versus 2021 versus 2022. This is a big one I always want to make investors aware of. So this is the volume of transactions in the off-plan market versus the ready market, or what we refer to as the primary market or the secondary market. So sales volume, as you can see here, the off-plan market, i.e. buying something 1, 2, 3 years from completion, is more popular than buying something that's ready now. So as you can see, 57% of the transactions in quarter 3, 2022 in Dubai were on the off-plan market versus 43% for the secondary market, effectively. So why is that? There's a number of reasons. Firstly, because developers are bringing attractive products to market. So unique features, they're upping their game. Dubai is a very competitive market for developers. They have to keep outstaging each other, keep improving the amenities, keep the value right for investors. As a result of that, you'll see attractive payment plans, which I believe is a big factor of why people are buying off-plan properties. And you see increased amenities, infinity pools, glass elevators, business lounges, games rooms, cabanas and sun lounges by these swimming pools, which are a bit more upmarket, etc., etc. So off-plan is absolutely huge. What you're seeing is people put down small deposits of 20, 30, 40%. It can be larger, but 20 to 40%, say, on average. And what they're doing, they're putting that down now, and they're benefiting from the full property value growth during the construction period. So if values increase by 10% in the next year, they're not getting a 10% growth on their 40%. They're getting it on the full property value, whilst they're only effectively risking 40%. So when you look at the developer track record, the finished products that they've done before, the low down payments, the payment plans in the long term, and ultimately the reputation of the Dubai market, that's what's causing a lot of investors to consider off-plan purchasing. Also, obviously, you can choose the unit within the development. So it's a lot less risky. It allows overseas investors to get into the market without having to view and go and look at old houses and look at maintenance issues and negotiate and all the rigmarole that comes with buying on the secondary market. So don't be under the impression, if you're buying something that's completing in 2 years' time, that your money is not working for you, because it's simply not true. Yes, you can buy something ready now and generate immediate income, but you will be paying a premium for that, and you'll be buying from an owner who's selling from the maximum amount they can, especially now with the market being so hot. So that's predominantly why we focus on the off-plan market. And secondly, this is reflected in the same pattern is reflected in the sales value. So off-plan, 59% of the sales value produced in quarter 3, 2022 was by that segment of the market. So 31.8 billion versus 41% being on the ready market at 21.77 billion. So hopefully that's a really good indicator where you can see that, off-plan, a big section of the market, and we're talking, thousands and thousands of investors are seeing the value, they're seeing the opportunity in the off-plan new build primary market. So this is just an indicator of, I think this really displays how busy the market is right now, because this is the sales volume in Dubai for the third quarter in recent years. So in other words, you can see here 2022, year on year, or let's just look at the volume for now. So 25.5K versus last year, 15.9K. So this is the sales volume taking place. And if you just look at the chart, how this dates back to previous years, you can see the demand and the escalation in the Dubai market. And there's the same for the value of the properties. Mortgages, as many of you will know, Dubai is traditionally a cash market. However, the mortgage market is beginning to mature here now. You've got a lot more brokerages, i.e. specific mortgage brokers entering the market. Although obviously, a lot of investors are still going direct to banks. But with the influx of overseas investors and that ability to obtain a mortgage from overseas at reasonable interest rates and reasonable deposit levels, we are seeing, the value of the mortgages increase. So as you can see, versus Q3 2021, you're seeing 11.9% rise. Although the number of transactions, the actual number of individual mortgages taking place has decreased slightly. This is probably due to the talks of interest rates and the effect of the economy over the past 6 months or so. And this has probably been reflected in the Q3 2022. And as a result, it's dropped 5.7% versus Q3 2021. Okay, so if you want to get an idea of the prime areas of Dubai, here's projects. So these are new build projects from developers where the most expensive apartments in the city have been sold. So the Royal Atlantis, this is obviously the development next to the Atlantis Hotel on the Palm Jumeirah, and that saw an apartment sell for 163 million. Jumeirah Masar Al Arab, 145. Six Senses, which is from the Select Group on the Palm, 92 million. So we're working with Select's group on this, and also one at Palm Jumeirah, obviously the Palm Jumeirah, 85 million, and BV Residences, 50 million. Top 5 areas with the most expensive sold villas. So Palm Jumeirah, 303. I believe this is a record. Emirates Living, 201. Jumeirah Bay, MBR, 53. Obviously District 1. And Masar Al Arab, 48 million. If anyone's looking at any sort of high-spec, high-end luxury villas or apartments in the city, let us know and we can certainly help with that. Here's the apartment average prices in the top 10 areas. So there's no need to go through this in detail now, but this just gives you an idea of the average prices and the floating average in the particular area. So you've got Business Bay 1.3, Dubai Marina 2.1, JVC 580,000. So I think what this is useful for is just if you've got a budget in mind or a property value that you're aiming for, basically what you can do is have a scan of this and see where you fit in the market. So if you know you've only got 1.5 million dirhams as a top end ticket price, then you know that Dubai Marina is out of reach, downtown / Burj Khalifa out of reach, but you can focus on Business Bay, JVC, Arjan, Dubai Hills, etc., etc. That's probably what you could use this data for. Same with the villa average prices. Okay, moving on to the next section now. I'll try not to go on for too much longer, but I just want to point this one out and have a quick word about the developers in the marketplace. So a lot of investors in Dubai, I believe, local residents take the developers here for granted. I'm used to the UK market. I own a company, a property investment agency there as well. So as a result, I've got a large developer network there, and I'm able to directly compare it to the UAE and the Dubai market. Now, a lot of investors do consider the UK a very safe, robust, and sound investment market. However, I can tell you the caliber of developer there outside of London is nothing in comparison to the caliber of developer in Dubai. So in Dubai, you have developers that have delivered tens of thousands of units over and over and over again. And I just want to make that point to investors, because particularly residents that are coming from overseas, they may be a bit cautious of buying off plan, buying years in advance, putting down this deposit level. But in fact, the Dubai developers actually have a very, very strong reputation when you compare them to other global markets. I'm not saying the whole of the market is like this, and I'm not saying there hasn't been issues in the past, but certainly now there are a good 7 or 8 quality developers, probably more than that. I'd say 7 to 10 quality developers that I could put my hand on my heart and I say, look, you can trust investing and deploying your capital with these developers. They will deliver you a good quality product at a good price, and you can't say that for every city in the UK for sure. So what this bit of data here represents is the property delivery rate in 2022. So only 14% of all the products that were delivered, units or properties by developers in Dubai, only 14% are overdue and 86% were delivered on time. Now, when you're buying off-plan property in Dubai, and this is a separate video I could speak for hours about, but when you're buying off-plan property in Dubai, you've got to be aware you will be given a projected delivery date or handover date. But developers in Dubai, they do have a 12-month grace period where they have up to 12 months after that projected delivery date, which is registered, in order to deliver the project before investors can take any action or effectively, have any recourse. So do bear in mind, when you get a delivery date from a developer, it's projected, it's estimated. Most developers will be able to, get to that date near or hereabouts, but they do have a period of time after that where they can still deliver the project. But despite of that, 86% are still delivering on time. So hopefully that helps. And that's the gist of it, guys. Just down here, if you do go on the DXB Interact website, you can see the month Pacific performance as well. So hopefully that helps. As I say, I know I spoke through that quickly, but I just wanted to give you a snapshot of different areas, a bit about developers and off-plan investing, the volumes of transactions, where people are deploying their capital, where we see the best investment case at the moment. I'm here on hand to assist any investors who are looking at the Dubai market, whether you're a resident or overseas. Obviously, we've got a team here on the ground in Dubai. Our office is in Business Bay, so we do know this area particularly well, but we do cover most of the Dubai market across villas and apartments. So reach out, any questions, let us know, and we'll be happy to assist. And that's Nick, the CEO at Masar Capital. Thanks, guys. I'll speak to you soon.